Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to share with you some of the arrangement choices and production choices behind the new single Lumen, which is by the way available on all digital platforms in case you missed it, so definitely check it out. So the process has been pretty similar across all songs. Again, very minimal. Track count is probably lower than 30 across every song, probably a bit more than 30 in some cases, but there's not much going on purpose. Again, I went for a more of a minimal vibe, and I guess that's what I was into at the time. So let's look at some of the project files here, and you're looking at the project as it was right before tracking. So these guitars here are not the final takes. These are the demo versions that I made, while writing. That's usually what I do. I make the demos kind of like I was in a studio, or like doing a real studio production. You make the demo, then you make the production, then tracking, and then mixing and mastering. So I try to treat it that way, even though it's just me in my bedroom. But that really helps you building a professional sound in a way, even if it's just a home studio. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the tracks here. Now, if you haven't listened to the song yet, I encourage you to do that if you're interested, so that you can have like a general picture of the song. Now we're gonna go through the different groups. So here we have drums. They are pretty much the same across the whole song. But as you can hear and see, they kind of have like tiny details and tiny variations here and there, again to make it feel less like loop, like here, all these glitches. As you can see, it's just samples that they get from Splice mainly, and I just put them together on the grid like this. The kick, for instance, is a layer of 3 different kick drums. Basic stuff really. And there's the snare. They all sound very like organic, and so for the glitches here, like these weird sounds that are kind of sprinkled through the whole song, I make these with granulator, which is a plugin for Ableton that allows you to basically do granular synthesis. So you can just import your own samples and kind of granulate them basically, which is basically reproducing them in like taking small bits from those samples and reproducing them in random ways. You can decide how random, and like you can decide different parameters, but it's fairly random, which is kind of the cool part about this. Yeah, about granular synthesis in general. You can't really control 100% what you're doing, which is kind of the beauty of it. And so you have like happy accidents like these glitches that I just edit, and it's a whole track. And then I just like choose the ones that I like, and then I basically just kind of use them as fills in a way. And that's my approach with drums, across the whole EP, pretty much across every song. Now we have some more additional percussions and glitches. This was again from Granulator. Now bass, a few people asked me about bass. So it's a double bass sample from Splice that I kind of chopped out and pitched in different ways to make this riff. Yeah, to me it sounds pretty cool. Let's hear bass and drums together. that's like the skeleton of the song. It's pretty much just bass and drums, and then me doing silly things on the guitar. Then we have the other main element, which is this kind of vocal sample. And the way you make it stutter like this in Ableton, at least, is by using the beats algorithm, because it sounded like this before. I probably stretched this a bit, but yeah. And then with the beat algorithm, you can just play basically 60 notes based off of that material, or 8 notes. And that's pretty cool. So that's how you make that sound, and I use that a lot, in different ways. We have here again granulated guitars. So let's see here what we have. I think this is just a sample. I didn't do much. Yeah, didn't do like anything. Just straight out of Splice, and sometimes that works. That's kind of like an impact sound. This is like a hi-hat. Actually, it's also stretched. Yeah, that's a hi-hat. Then you stretch it, process it. It sounds, then it sounds hopefully a bit more interesting. Like, to me, hi-hats sounds just too obvious sometimes, so I like to make them sound weird as much as I can. Again, the same granulated guitar. The cool thing actually happening in this part is the strings. By the way, this is the granulator plugin in action right now, and as you can see, there's a lot of automation going on. I think here as well on the decapitator. Yeah, so it's just granulated. It was a string sample, but then a cello sample actually, as you can read, but then it got destroyed basically by these plugins. A bunch of randomization here with the granulator, then automation, and yeah, hopefully you make it sound more interesting. I don't know. So you hear it kind of goes crazy from time to time, and that's, I think, the decapitator automation, delay automation, but also these automations here on the plugin. And yeah, basically I wanted strings, but I didn't want that like cheesy orchestra sound, so I tried to make it, I guess, weirder by doing like this type of processing. And what else do we have here? This is again straight out of Splice, just an octave higher. The same vocals as before. We have a bunch of muted tracks that probably didn't make the final version. Sounds like percussions out of that string, that strings track that we heard before. Again with the beat algorithm, so you just reproduce the transients. More strings that ended up just muted. And then just me doing really stupid stuff on the guitar. But that's pretty much it. That's the pretty much the approach on all the songs from that EP. The process stayed kind of consistent through the whole EP. I've used similar sounds, similar samples, and similar techniques. I guess just to keep it consistent as a sound. That's something that I like while making albums and EPs. I think they should sound like one thing. So that's what I aim for. Yeah, hope this has been helpful in some way to you guys, and let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want more of this type of content. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on next videos, and I guess I'll just see you next time. Ciao!